And here we go. We continue to bring in amazing and impactful presenters, educators. It has been a great morning already. We have the band playing in the background. The smoothie machine continues to roll. Our Avid headphones have been a huge help in all of this. So thank you to their donations and support to the Stronger Together podcast. But what has really made today impactful are the people who come on and share the work. And Kristen Brooks, who already presented today, is now coming in between sessions to present and share some of her work. So, speaking of your work, for those individuals who don't know you or the work that you do, I'd love for you to share for everybody to learn.
Well, hey, Matthew, thank you so much for having me on today. So exciting. It's cool to have this right here. People are walking by, like waving at
It's like
you.
live TV, right?
Yeah, it's like, hey. My name is Kristen Brooks, and I have been in education for 28 years. So, just done a little bit of everything in my district, but currently I am teaching kindergarten through fifth grade in our tech lab, and we basically just work on creating more than you consume on a daily basis and with different devices. So we just try to do everything, touch all the buttons, click everything we can, and just learn how to create with it.
So, speaking of, touching all the buttons, trying, how do you get kids to get into that mindset to just go and try things?
It's actually easier with children sometimes than it is with adults.
Okay.
I just finished a workshop, and I think adults have somewhat of a little fear factor sometimes with touching all the buttons, clicking all the things, and children don't have that premise before them. They're just like, yeah, it's a button, I'm going to click it. So sometimes it can go the wrong way, but for the most part, it's all good. And I really feel like that opens up to letting the kids know, hey, I'm not the smartest person in the room. I don't claim to be. That's not in my teacher contract anywhere. And that, if you find something that's cool that maybe I didn't go over, maybe I'm saving it, but you jump up, you take control of the class, and you share with all of us what was cool or what was interesting to you, or what, you think your peers would enjoy. And I think that is a great way to think about it in class, and to kind of get yourself out of the fear factor mindset where you're nervous to touch all the buttons. Because to me, kids love to hear from other kids, just like teachers love to hear from other teachers.
Sure.
Administrators love to hear from other administrators. And if their friends think it's cool, then that's something I wouldn't have known because I'm an adult. So I love giving the class over to my students as often as possible.
No, and I think that's great. And you had talked about before you came on that you had a session already, Active Learning with Adobe Express. You have Clips app session this afternoon, and you have multiple sessions throughout your time at FETC. So when individuals are looking through the big catalog and they see some of those titles up there, here they are again, what is going to draw them into your sessions?
I like to tell people that I run my workshops or my sessions very open. Again, I don't claim to be the smartest person in the room. I'm just the one who volunteered to get up there and kind of lead the discussion, so to speak. But, I'm open, like everybody share, everybody, let's all learn from each other. We're all learners all the time. And I think educators are the best learners because we love to continuously learn. So for my sessions, if you want something that is just, I'm going to start at the beginning, I'm going to walk you through at a slow pace, I'm going to give you some stuff to do. Maybe if you already know what I'm going over, here's your, early finisher for adults. And I just always try to do it in that format of just sharing, collaborating together, just like I try to do in my classroom. So, it's a little bit of something for everyone. And I always tell people, like this morning in my session, I'm like, if you've got something to share, just yell it out. You don't have to raise your hand. You can come up here if you want. I'll bring the microphone to you. Just please, let's all do it together.
And I think, I don't think, I know Kristen's being incredibly humble when she's like, oh, I just got up and volunteered to do a workshop. She does impactful work. The sessions change education. She does a lot of work, not only with students, as she said, with adults. So make sure to check out her website, see all the work she does, the keynote sessions that she can lead, the presentation. So all of this, and what I have really liked seeing in your work, is that it is able to be implemented the next day. And for teachers who come to an event like this and it's overwhelming and they have to seem like they have to put everything into place, where's like one or two places when they leave here you think they can just start and take that first step?
I definitely think that I have started a few years ago when Wakelet was born, so to speak, I started using Wakelet. And so I really feel like that's a great tool that I use a QR code to put it on the screen. I have a QR code that goes right to that Wakelet for that session, but then it can also lead them to all of my Wakelet items. And I just continuously put all my resources there. So even if they hear it during the session and they want to figure out more about it, that's definitely a place to go. And I also feel like it's great to use Twitter. I tell people all the time, you're in my session, I'm going to tweet about it, maybe during, maybe after. So just those things to help them use it the next day.
And I think that's incredibly important. And the other thing that you do is model being a learner. So besides all of these great sessions, you also try to come away with something from events that you attend or blogs that you read or different things, because I see you put it into practice. What do you hope to learn from this year's FETC?
I'm really looking for, I love the vendor hall. I love walking through and just seeing what excites me as a learner, what piques my interest that I want to know more, and just really listening to conversations is huge. I also really feel like because I am working with students, kindergarten through fifth every day, I do some different clubs to bring in some of the older students, but really I have I don't know, something about when I'm walking around and I see something, I just think my kids will love that. My students will love that. That will be engaging to them. And so I just really like to look for what's that next thing that they're going to be excited to use to engage into their learning. So
for educators who aren't fortunate enough to either have time off or be here or attend some of the other state events, where can they go to learn besides your website below? Where would you encourage teachers to go to continue to learn some of these strategies?
I know that it's challenging for teachers sometimes. We don't have a ton of time. I feel like social media is really an easy place to go. Instagram or Twitter that you could type in. I mean, most people don't realize if you go to Twitter and you type in the hashtag, elementary, you're going to come up with lots of tweets just about elementary. If you type in ed tech or hashtag ed tech, you're going to come up with lots of tweets just about that. You could type in hashtag FETC, and then you're going to get, it's almost like you are sorting what you're wanting to look at. So you could take it a step further and type in, hashtag third grade or hashtag third grade, hashtag math, just that kind of way of filtering it to be what you want it to be. I feel like that's the greatest PD ever. And you can do it on your time about what you're interested in. So you might be, waiting in an office for somebody, you've got 10 minutes, you can go do your own PD just a little bit on Twitter. I take a lot of screenshots, I go back and look at it later. So I think that's a really easy place to just figure out what you want to know when you have the time.
Yeah, and I think using that hashtag as a search feature allows you to drive that learning. I know we use hashtag a lot as an output, but you're talking about using it as an input, and I think that's critical. So you shared your current roles with younger students, and as a former elementary principal, I would hear a lot from teachers that our kids are too young to do insert, activity. What are you finding in the foundational grades that is allowing students to take risks and that they are able to do this?
I think that that to me is always a challenge when somebody says my kindergartners can't do Minecraft. I'm like, oh, I accept that. I accept that challenge because they can. You just might have to, formulate it a little different. Maybe make the activity a little bit easier. Maybe explaining it to them a little bit in a different way, or having peer tutors come in. Fifth grade students come in to help the kindergartners learn how to log in. So I definitely feel like that all types of technology can be adequate for the younger learners, and you just might have to alter it a little bit. Definitely, if there is some sort of age restriction on it, I'm not going to go and try to use it with a younger grade. But, for things that in most people's mind, they think, oh, I can't do that with littles. I just try to say, okay, let's see if we can.
Yeah, and I think a similar strategy that you were talking about for yourself leading PD, just going and doing it and leading it, letting students. Have you ever just let students take over?
Oh, absolutely.
And how does that go for teachers?
Yeah, I basically, whenever I am with students, I say to them, hey, friends, I'm going to give you the quick directions that are going to last 5 to 7 minutes. After that, the floor is open. And if you see something cool, let me know. I'll either put your device up on the big screen, but you can have the floor and you can, explain it to them, because the kids love that opportunity. So I'll have some kids that are really already, feeling very triumphant in whatever we're doing. And they're in there doing something already brand new. And I'm like, go share it. Go teach us how to do that. Because especially with something like Minecraft, I don't always know. I'm not a crafter. I don't build in Minecraft like for free time, but my students do. So I tell them all the time, I'm like, you guys, y'all are teaching me just as much as I'm teaching you. So show us all how to do that. So I've learned some really cool tricks lately about snow. So
Okay.
if you are interested and you're out there listening, I'm doing 2 more sessions on Minecraft with minis, and I have learned some cool tricks from my students about crafting and building with snow.
And I think that's another great thing to share is how you are open to learn, even in all the accomplishments you had, to still learn in this role as well. So you, as we shared, are having multiple sessions here. You present nationally all the time. For someone who's looking to start, or this is their first time, what would be a suggestion you have for them?
Absolutely meet as many other presenters as possible. Go to the person in the room next door and just introduce yourself. If you have a business card or a QR code, exchange that information, because I think that you would agree, Matthew, like we all call each other, text each other, send emails. I mean, I have literally sent messages on Twitter with the subject or capital help, like in the middle of class, to other, presenters or somebody that I think would know the answer, because it's how it's done. We're all helping each other and we're all learning together. And I don't think that anyone has the end all be all best way to get into presenting. I just love sharing with other people and just coming to cool conferences like this and being able to do that and then take what I learned back to my school. So it's a win-win in my book.
And I think that really models being a learner, not only sharing, being a learner, but also models stronger together. So the last question I always ask everybody is, what does stronger together mean to you?
I feel like stronger together is just a mindset of I can't do anything on my own, and that if I have somebody, helping me with either ideas or just supporting me and listening to my ideas and just giving me I think that sounds great, or I'm not sure, explain that again, like somebody that just has my back. And I just feel like we are definitely as educators stronger together, and that we can do a lot with support, and really just I'm here for you. I've got you. So, I just think that is what I think of when I hear stronger together.
Well, that is awesome. And if you're here at FETC, make sure to check out one of the many sessions Kristen has. If you're not, check out her website below. All great resources. Thank you for all you do. Continue to support our educators and impact education.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for all you do.
Well, thank you, and have a great rest of the event.
Thanks.